Hey, are you thinking maybe you're not really sure if you want to go to college? I can't, I can't say this. I can't tell them that it's okay to not go to college. I'm a college professor. All right, look, do not share this video. Do not show it to your parents. Do not show it to your teachers. But what we're going to talk about this week on College on Fleek is whether or not you should go to college. It's okay if you don't. But don't tell anybody I said that. Hi, welcome to College on Fleek. I'm Mary Dittman. I'm an award-winning business professor on the collegiate level and the creator of College on Fleek and One-Derful Life. What is College on Fleek? I've been teaching in the School of Business at Francis Marion University for coming up on 19 years. And in that time, I've seen a lot of different students, a lot of students with different challenges and struggles. I've learned from them what's worked and what hasn't worked. And I've helped a lot of them overcome difficulties that they've had in school. And that really became the inspiration for College on Fleek. When I was in college, I wasn't a straight A student, and there were a lot of things I struggled with, including test anxiety. And it just could feel really embarrassing and humiliating when I wasn't doing well in school. And that's what made me passionate about helping students in college. And that's what College on Fleek is about. It's helping you do your best while you're in college. Doesn't mean you're going to get straight A's, but it means that you'll get the best experience that you can. So I wanted to have a show every week to share with you the things that are working and things that are not working for college students, and I really want to hear from you. I want this to be a place where you feel welcome and you feel like you're part of the tribe, and you can come and learn and get some things that are going to help you and maybe share what's working and what's not working for you. So you can look for a new episode of this show every Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern. All right, so I get a question frequently, which is, should I go to college? And the answer to that is, it depends. And I'm going to go into some more detail on that in a few minutes, but college is not necessarily for everybody, and it may not be for you. And I'm going to share with you some ways that you can determine if college is for you and the best way to set yourself up for success. Before we get into that, I want us to take a little break here and have a motivation minute. We all have things that we procrastinate on, or a project that just feels really overwhelming. And it could be anything. It could be cleaning your room, or losing weight, or getting that statistics homework done, or studying for a test. It doesn't matter. Everybody has something that they're putting off doing. And especially if you're feeling overwhelmed, it's really easy to just not start on something. So the way you get started on anything that you feel overwhelmed with or that you're procrastinating on is just sit down with a piece of paper and write down 3 to 5 big steps that would have to get done. So for example, if it's cleaning your room, it might be, I need to go through the closet, I need to clean up the floor, I need to put everything away. And once you have those 3 to 5 kind of big steps, then just take one of those steps to begin with, just one. So again, if it's cleaning up your room, you might say, okay, I need to clean the closet. So then break that step into 3, 4, 5 different steps. So it might say, I need to hang the clothes up. I need to get the shoes put in order. I need to get rid of stuff that I don't wear because I don't really have any more room. But break it down into super easy, tiny steps. And then just do one thing. Don't try to do everything, just do one thing. This helps you get momentum and feel like you're making progress. One of my mentors one time, I told her I wanted to clean out my dresser, and I have 6 drawers in my dresser. And she said, okay, I want you to go and I want you to take one drawer, clean it out, get it organized, and call me back. So I did that. I took the one drawer, emptied it out on the floor, and got it all organized, got rid of the stuff I didn't want anymore, and I called her back. And she said, okay, great, what are you gonna do now? I was like, I'm gonna do the other 5 drawers. And she said, no, you're not. She said, I don't want you to do anything else on that today. And every time you walk by the dresser, open up the drawer and look at the one drawer that you organized and just be excited about it. See, what I used to do is I would take all the 6 drawers and I would dump everything out on the floor all at once. And then I would start going through the stuff and I would start organizing the drawers, but I'd get like 2 drawers in and be exhausted. And then I'd be upset and frustrated because I had this huge mess on my floor. So what I learned was just do one piece at a time. So don't go and take everything out of your closet and throw it on the floor. Now there are organizing experts who say to do that, and maybe that would work for you. It just didn't work for me because I would just feel like, oh my God, like I have a big mess now. So just look at it, and if it's your shoes, you might say, okay, so all I'm going to do today is I'm just going to pick up all the shoes off the floor, make sure that they're paired up together, and either put them in boxes so I can organize them, or I'm going to get a shoe rack, or I'm going to line them up on the closet floor, something, whatever would work for you, and just get the shoes done, and that's it. See, that helps you to organize a project and make some forward progress and get some momentum so you feel like you're winning. And that way you can stay motivated too. All right, now I'm going to give you a little success hack. I love hacks and tips. Sometimes I'll give you a study hack, but right now I'm going to give you a success hack. The little steps to get things done. If you really want to be successful with something, put it on your calendar. Because the truth is, if something's not on your calendar, you're probably not going to get it done. So schedule a time for it. Keep it like an appointment. Let's really get into this question of, is college for you and should you go to college? And as I said earlier, the answer is it depends. And it depends on a few things. You may be getting some pressure from your family that you're supposed to go to college. And listen, if you just know that you want to go, like you've always anticipated that you will go to college, you want to go to college, you see value in that, then great, go ahead and do it. But if you're asking yourself the question, well, should I go to college? Is that really for me? Then maybe it is, maybe it's not. Don't go to college just because your parents want you to go, or your high school teacher wants you to go, or your friends are all going to college. That's not a great reason for you to go to college. There are some things that you would want to consider when you're thinking about whether or not college is for you. First of all, what is it that you think you want to do in terms of work and career when you graduate? I mean, if you want to be a doctor or a lawyer, you're going to need to go to college because you need to have a license to do those things. So you need a formal education for that. If you want to be a graphic designer and you already have like mad artistic skills, like you can sketch, you can design in the computer, you can already do everything, well, a graphic design degree may not necessarily serve you, but you might say, I want to get a graphic design degree and a business degree because I want to learn how to have my own graphic design agency someday. So it really depends on what your long game is. Now, if you're sitting there saying, I have no clue what I want to do, then college can be very valuable because you'll take a variety of classes, and while taking those classes, sometimes you'll find something that you really latch on to. If you are interested in a career where a degree isn't really necessary, or you're completely clueless as to what you want to do, the thing you need to be aware of is that college can be a very expensive endeavor, and so you don't want to take on loans or go into a lot of debt just trying to figure out what you want to do. If you know for a fact you want to go to college and you're not sure what you want to do, then okay, you're really going to take foundational classes in your first couple of years at college, and that is going to be good because it'll expose you to a lot of different things and it'll help you hone your interests. But it's not necessarily important for you to lock in your major and know exactly what you want to do that very first semester. In fact, most people change majors. I changed my major 3 times in college and almost a 4th. So that's part of why you take these classes, is to help you determine what it is that you want to do. When it was time for me to go to college, I really wasn't ready to leave home yet. And so I took my first couple of years at a community college and I lived at home with my parents and I worked and I took classes at the community college, and that really helped me kind of it's like instead of just jumping into the pool in the deep end, I could like start in the shallow end and kind of ease my way in, and for me that really helped me. If for some reason you're just feeling like you're not ready for college, like you're incredibly scared about it, or you really don't know if it's for you, I recommend taking a year off. Now, a lot of times parents get very scared when their child says, I want to take a year off. But it's called a gap year, which doesn't mean you're going to spend a year at the Gap in the mall, although you might if you're working there. But that gap year can be very helpful because it gives you time, first of all, to kind of decompress from life as a high school student. And what you're going to want to do in that gap year is work. And I would recommend, of course, getting if you could, a full-time job, certainly a job where you're being paid, and then doing some volunteer work on top of that, because that gives you a lot of different types of experience that will help you determine what it is you want to do. Another thing you can do during your gap year is maybe take a class online. And there are a lot of different online options. Now, the thing about online education a lot of times is it's self-paced and you have to complete it on your time schedule, but that's not a bad thing, because even if you're in a traditional classroom, like let's say if you took the Intro to Business class with me, even if you're in the traditional class where you come to class 3 times a week, I don't check in on you. I'm not going to tell you, oh, you're missing a lot of class, or are you coming to school today, or where's your homework? Don't forget it's due on Friday. You're not going to be micromanaged like that in college. You do have to be able to motivate yourself, manage your time, and get things done. So your ability to complete an online class on your own can show you if you're going to have the tools in your toolbox to make it in college. So as far as determining if college is for you, that's something that you really have to ask yourself. Now, and you know what? I'd really love for you to post in the comments here, are you questioning whether or not college is for you? And I want to hear from you if that's a concern that you have, or maybe if you're in college right now, did you have that question before you started college? This show is really designed to be a dialogue, not just a monologue of me talking to you. I want to hear from you, and this is a place where we can, like I said, this is a tribe where we can all feel like we're at home here and talk with each other. So you might post something in the comments that will actually help another student. And if you would go ahead and post in the comment, did you figure out one action step that you're going to take on that project that we worked on towards the beginning of the show? So, hey, if you really want to keep yourself accountable and take it to the next level, you could even put in the comments, I'm going to have my shoes organized by this time tomorrow, and then we can check back with you and see how you did. Now, I will give you some study hacks as we go, but I want to, right off the bat, give you the biggest hack that I have of all time. When I was in college and high school, actually, I had really serious test anxiety. I mean, even in graduate school, working on my master's degree, there would be times where I would sit there. I remember one exam I sat, and the only thing for an hour, the only thing on my test was my name. And I had studied, but I was panicking. And then if you've ever had this happen, the more you panic, it's like you just blank out even more. And I mean, I struggled like that starting in high school. And when I began teaching, I saw that a lot of my students don't know how to study. Many of them come from high schools where, frankly, they just don't have to work very hard, and they get good grades, and then they come to college and they do not know how to study. And so what I would do is I would teach them one-on-one in my office how to study, or maybe I would take half of a lecture one day in class and tell the class how to study, but then if you missed that day, you were kind of out of luck. So I created the Study Smart Toolkit. This is what I did to help myself overcome test anxiety. 3 steps, super easy, anybody can do it. I've been teaching for, like I said, I'm starting my 19th year. I have never met a student who is failing exams because of intelligence. Never. They're failing exams because they don't know how to study. Now I'm going to tell you, as a teacher, my favorite conversation with a student is when they look at me and say, "Hey, Professor Dittman, I'm failing your test because I'm not studying at all." I'm like, "Okay, this is awesome." They're like, "What?" Like, "Yeah, I'm so glad to hear you're not studying, because if you told me you're doing all this stuff to study and you're still failing, that would scare me." But outside of students not studying at all, then I see students who are studying, they'll tell me 6 and 8 hours, and they're still failing. Well, that's because you're not studying correctly. And so I want you to go to collegeonfleek.com. That's where you can download the Study Smart Toolkit, totally free. It's a video. You'll have immediate access to it. Plus, I'm going to email it to you, so you're always going to have it for life, 24/7. And it's me one-on-one teaching you how to study. And I have literally seen my students go from F's to A's on the very next test. I'm not talking like, try this and, in 3 or 4 months it'll work. I'm saying, you try what's in that Study Smart Toolkit, you do what I show you how to do, very next test, you will most likely have an A. Now, I can't promise or guarantee anything, but I'm just telling you what I've seen, okay? It worked for me, and it's worked for the people I've taught it to. So go to collegeonfleek.com. You can get that, and I promise you that'll help you out. And hey, join me next week, because we're going to talk about summer classes. Should you take summer classes, or should you take the summer off? Hey, I want to thank you for joining me this week on this episode, and I hope that you'll give me your feedback, questions that you have, or things that you would like to hear about, or what do you need help with, or what has you concerned about college? Because this show is not for me, it's for you. I want to help you. I want to help you be successful. And so tell me what it is that I can help you with to help you be more successful in college. And hey, invite your friends, because this place, College on Fleek, is for everybody. So join me again next week here on College on Fleek.